Welcome to Godzilla-Thon. Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack, or GMK. Where to begin? This film, although not bad, I do not think is the masterpiece so much of the fan base does. I mean, you can kind of see it there, but I take issue with that goofy-looking Ghidorah. Oh, and Ghidorah's a guardian monster. Oh, never make Ghidorah a good guy. The story follows this reporter who works for kind of like a digital web show, and they do, let me think, they do like supernatural investigation type stuff. Well, weird stuff starts going down. This Baragon appears, and it's alluded Godzilla's coming back. In the beginning, we actually see her father giving a lecture to students at a military academy, I take it, and he's talking about the first attack with Godzilla, and that in 98, a monster attacked the East Coast to New York City, and they take a jab at the Jay Leno iguana. Two of the cadets are talking, and the one's like, the 98 attack was Godzilla, wasn't it? And the other guy says, that's what the Americans say, but our experts here have their doubts. So, shots fired at the Jay Leno iguana. Anyway, they find a sub sinks, of small subs investigating, and we see Godzilla's dorsal spines. Through investigating, the reporter finds out about the legends about the guardian monsters, and it's Ghidorah, Mothra, and Baragon. Out of the three updated designs, Baragon's the only one that works for me. Mothra looks more like a toy, and Ghidorah looks goofy. Well, we get some scenes with just vandals, and these guys are just over the top bad. They're breaking into a house. They even have a box with a dog in it, and they're going to drown the dog. Well, Mothra kills them, and the dog survives. And Mothra just disappears. Where to? I don't know. Next time we see any sign of Mothra, she's in her cocoon. And again, don't get me wrong. I like this movie. I just don't think it's the masterpiece a lot of the fan base seems to think it is, and I just don't have a lot to say about it. I will say, it's neat that they made Godzilla just super aggressive and sadistic in this. There's a scene where they're firing these missiles at him, and they have a cool weapon that's effective against Godzilla. The warhead's a drill. It drills inside of him and explodes. Godzilla takes one of Ghidorah's heads and uses it as a shield against the missile. There's one scene where Godzilla hears this woman screaming, turns around, charges up his atomic breath, and the next scene we see is a teacher at a school, and there's an explosion, and we see a mushroom. They hear the explosion, the teacher looks out the window, and they see a mushroom cloud. Now, I have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, it's a scary, mean Godzilla. On the other hand, I feel like it subtracts from Godzilla that he targets individual people. He's supposed to be to me, he's a force of nature, and the damage should be 100% indiscriminate. One cool touch is there's this house, and there's some people eating, and it's like a lodge or something, and there's pictures of Dr. Yamane and his discoveries in the first movie, and Godzilla appears, and he steps on the house. This one girl survives, and she's in the hospital, and when Godzilla comes to shore, she panics first and thinks she's going to be safe, then Godzilla hits the building with his tail, and this is good because it goes back to Godzilla being a metaphor for the bomb, a metaphor for destruction. Even if you survive your initial encounter with a radioactive blast, it can still get you in the long run due to radiation poisoning. I know I'm more describing individual moments in this movie, but that's just the thing. To me, it's hard to describe this movie. Only individual moments stick out. There's some great scenes where we get to see just the collateral damage that happens when these kaiju battle. When Godzilla and Baragon are fighting, Godzilla hits Baragon and sends him flying, and he crushes people in the area. There's one cool part when they're fighting and a helicopter's reporting everything, WWE announcer style, and the helicopter gets taken out. In this destruct scenes where he's fighting the military, we get to see it from perspectives we never had before. Like, we've seen Godzilla destroy the jets with his atomic breath several times, but what we've never seen is the collateral damage in that those jets land on people's houses. So again, bravo, good movie. Again, just not the gem a lot of people seem to think it is. Where I really take issue is with Ghidorah and Mothra. Mothra looks like a toy. They took away her energy-based attacks from the previous movies and gave her this stinger-type attack, which is cool, but taking away the energy attacks makes her less of a threat. In Ghidorah, when he first shows up, he doesn't even have his wings. They sprout later after Mothra gets killed, and Ghidorah just keeps getting beaten down. There's not much he can do. And then when he finally gets full powered and starts hitting Godzilla with the gravity beams, all they do is supercharge his atomic breath and Godzilla blows him to bits. And you see chunks of Ghidorah raining down in the water, which I'll admit looks cool. And again, I don't have many issues with Godzilla. He's one of the things that works the best in this movie. Now, the general character, the girl's father, he takes one of those miniature submarines and he has the missile. Godzilla swallows him and he fires the missile off on the inside of Godzilla's neck, and we see it come out, blow up, and when Godzilla's getting ready to kill his daughter, the atomic breath blows out of his neck. And another feature I like in this, when Godzilla's charging his atomic breath, it's not like a traditional one. We see elements of particles being drawn into him too before he shoots it out. And at the end, we get to see the father supposedly okay, but he won't let his daughter come close to him. He's like, let me get checked for radiation first. And she goes to salute him. And he goes, no, it's not just me. There were others, the humans and the guardian monsters. And he turns to the water and salutes Ghidorah. In the final shot, we see Godzilla's heart. That's all that's left, and it's still beating. Now, I will say, even though I have my issues, a lot of the characters are really good in this one, and they're characters that look like they would be fun to hang out with. There's one scene where the reporter gets drunk and one of her friends take her home, and even though the father, he's nice to the guy, he asks her the next morning at breakfast, so was that your boyfriend? And she says, no, just a co-worker. And he goes, well, then I feel bad, because if I'd known that, I would have been nicer to him. But I like the relationship between those two. He even gives a cool backstory. He survived Godzilla's first attack, and he describes what it was like from his perspective. So, again, good movie. I do recommend it. Not highly recommend it, but I still say it's a definite watch. And to buy or not, that's up to you. Now, the music in this, in closing, is absolutely phenomenal. And the composer, I didn't realize this until I watched Kaiju no Kami's review of it, actually composed Gundam Wing. And now that I know that, yeah, there are similarities between the music in this and Gundam Wing. I think the composer who did Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, I don't know her name. If you can take any other composer and name them the successor to Akira Ikefube, it would be her. But we do get a solid, competent soundtrack that I have no problems with. So that's kind of my scattered GMK review, but again, I don't have a lot to say about this one. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit notifications, hit dislike, and can't wait till next time, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. And, in my opinion, the single best choreographed battle in any of the Suitmation movies. Over and out.